Leo had seen many impossible things during his 3 years aboard the Meridian Exodus, but nothing had prepared him for the moment Anna removed her helmet. The observation deck was silent except for the hum of the ship's gravitational stabilizers. Through the reinforced viewport, the binary star system of Kepler 443 cast twin shadows across Anna's face, one shadow human, one decidedly not. The left side of her skull bore the unmistakable geometry of Khazari biotechnology, crystalline neural ports that pulsed with bioluminescent patterns, their light synchronized with her heartbeat. "You're staring again," Anna said, her voice carrying that peculiar harmonic undertone that marked her as something between species. Leo turned away, his reflection ghosting across the view. "Sorry, it's just I know." She moved closer, her armor clicking softly with each step. The Khazari battlesuit was a masterpiece of alien engineering, bonded to her nervous system at the molecular level. It had kept her alive when the rest of the diplomatic envoy to Proxima Centauri b had been slaughtered. "You still see me as human, aren't you?" The question hung between them like a fragile thing. Anna's hand half flesh, half the opalescent carapace of Khazari bioweaverage toward the viewport but stopped short of touching it. "The Khazari don't believe in the binary of human and other," she said finally. "They believe identity is written in choices, not genetics. They saved me, Leo. They rebuilt me, but they also gave me something else." She began unfastening the chestplate of her armor. The seals hissed as atmospheric pressure equalized, and the biosynthetic material peeled away from her torso like a living thing. Beneath the outer layer, where human skin met alien augmentation, Anna revealed the inner surface of the armor. Leo's breath caught. Carved into the crystalline underbelly of the chestplate, in perfect English letters, was his name, Leo Martinez. But it wasn't just carved, it was grown, integrated into the molecular structure of the armor itself. The letters pulsed with the same bioluminescent rhythm as Anna's neural ports, as if his name had become part of her heartbeat. "I don't understand," Leo whispered. Anna's eyes won green. The liquid silver of Khazari optic enhancement met his. "The Khazari have a ritual. When they bond with their armor, they inscribe the name of their Tholkin into it. Their anchor, the person who gives them reason to return from battle. But why me? We barely knew each other before the Proxima massacre." Anna's laugh was bitter. "Before I became this," she gestured at herself, at the patchwork of human and alien that made up her body. "You were the communications officer. You sent the distress signal that saved my life. You stayed on the channel for 6 hours, talking me through the darkest moment of my existence." Leo remembered. He remembered the screams over the comms, the sound of plasma fire, and then Anna's voice raw, terrified, alone. He'd violated protocol by keeping the channel open. He'd talked to her about Earth, about the ocean, about his grandmother's recipe for anything to keep her conscious, to keep her fighting until rescue arrived. "I was just doing my job," he said. "No." Anna stepped closer, and Leo could smell the ozone temps of her alien augmentations. "You saw me as human when I was drowning in my own blood, when half my body was already being consumed by Khazari regeneration tech. You didn't see a failed diplomat or a contaminated asset. You saw me." She pressed his hand against the carved name on her armor. The material was warm, alive, and through it Leo could feel the rhythm of Anna's dual heartbeat, one synthetic, one synthetic. "The Khazari taught me something," Anna continued. "They taught me that identity isn't about what you're made of, it's about what you carry. And I carry you, Leo, your voice in the dark. Your refusal to let me die alone, that's what makes me human, not my genetics, not my flesh." Leo's throat tightened. For months he'd watched Anna from a distance, seen her struggle with integration into the crew, witnessed the way others flinched when she entered a room. He'd told himself it wasn't his place to interfere, that she needed space to heal. "I didn't know," he managed. "The Khazari have another tradition," Anna said. She reached up and touched the neural ports on her temple. "When a warrior reveals their Tholkin, it's an offering. A question." "What question?" "Will you anchor me?" The words came out small, vulnerable in a way that contrasted sharply with her imposing hybrid form. "Will you be the reason I keep coming back? The Khazari gave me the power to survive, but they can't give me a reason to live. That has to be human. That has to be choice." Leo looked at her, really looked past the crystalline implants, past the alien armor, past the horror of what she'd endured. He saw Anna Reeves, the woman who'd been willing to die for peace between species. He saw the person who'd spent 6 hours in hell holding onto his voice like a lifeline. "I'm nobody special," Leo said. "I'm just a comtech who talks too much. You're the voice that told me I was still human when I had every reason to believe I wasn't." Anna's hand trembled as she held the armor between them. The Khazari say that identity is written in choices. I choose you, Leo. I chose you the moment the surgeons finished putting me back together, and I asked for your name. Will you choose me? The twin sons of Kepler 443 continued their eternal dance beyond the viewport, casting their double shadows across two figures standing at the intersection of humanity and the vast unknown. Leo thought about the nights he'd lain awake, wondering if Anna remembered their conversation during the rescue. He thought about the way his chest tightened every time she entered a room. He thought about how, despite everything she'd become, she was still the bravest person he'd ever known. Yes, he said, and the word felt like gravity, an inevitable force pulling two bodies into orbit. Yes, Anna, I choose you. The bioluminescent letters of his name flared brighter on her armor, as if responding to his words. Anna smiled, and for a moment she looked entirely human, entirely herself. Then I'll always come back, she whispered. No matter how far into the dark I have to go. Leo pulled her close, feeling the strange contrast of warm flesh and cool biosynthetic armor. In his embrace, Anna was both familiar and alien, human another, broken and whole. And for the first time since Proxima, she felt like she'd finally come home. The Meridian Exodus continued its journey through the cosmos, carrying within it two souls who'd learned that humanity wasn't measured in DNA or flesh, but in the choices that connected one beating heart to another regardless of how many hearts were beating, or what they were made of.